of competitive coding. So, without any further ado, we will start with our first session for today. Our first speaker for today is Mehak Gupta. Mehak is currently in her fourth year and she is also the Joint General Secretary of ACES. So, over to you, Mehak, and welcome.
Thank you, Apurva. Okay, I hope I'm audible and visible to all of you. Apurva, can we please move to the next slide? Sorry, Shivendra. Okay, yeah. Competitive programming. You know, guys, when you hear this word, like you all might have heard this word on LinkedIn or many different platforms, but simplifying this competitive programming for you, it is basically teaches you how to think, or you could say art of thinking, right? So here many people over here wants to, like, in future, if you are in the first, second or third year, when you get placed or if you get a placement offer, you might want to join Google, Amazon, Microsoft, or any other unicorn startup, right? I know, we all want to join such startups or such good product based companies. Okay, but we always think like, what should we start with? यार कि क्या करने का, ये करें. Okay, so competitive programming then comes into the picture. We, like, here we all might be having a good CGPA, or like, I'm sure ki, like, many of you might be having a CGPA above 9, but as we see a bigger picture, CGPA might not help you, in your in a long run. So competitive programming then helps you. Okay, so, like, here you can see some pictures. We will come to this later. Like, as I said, competitive programming is art of thinking. You all might be doing coding every day, right? You might be solving certain questions, but ask yourself what exactly you are learning from those things. Like, okay, everyone writes code. As a programmer, we every day write code. This is not something, like, this is normal, not something unique or not something extraordinary. You know, to competitive programming is basically to prepare a programmer such that his logical ability increases, and and the programmer can solve challenging situations. Now let's come in, like, let's start with why do you need competitive programming? ये सब जगह सुना होगा, but why do you exactly need? Okay, as I'm a final year student, I can surely say, if you want to get into a good product based companies, or eventually a company which pays you very well or which has a high reputation, to crack their online assessments, you need competitive programming. you know like online assessments, you need to do aptitude as well, but competitive programming, if you have done competitive programming, you might find online assessments are like कि भाई ये तो ऐसे ही हो जाएगा. So that is why you should do competitive programming. And second thing, many people feel कि like, abhi we are completely a beginner, or like, even the final year people feel कि like, uh, abhi to job mil gaya hai, why should we start with competitive programming? But that's not the case. Competitive programming is not like academics कि भाई इतना 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 किया and then you are a superman or woman. You need to daily do competitive programming. Consistency is basically the key in competitive programming. Okay, now as you can see some of the images over here. So first, like, how to start with competitive programming. Shivendra, to the next slide, please. Okay, this is the mostly asked question. Like, I have seen this question nearly everywhere on the LinkedIn or on the discussion platforms everywhere. So how to start? Like, if you are in your first, second, third, or whichever you are, many people afraid when they listen about competitive programming, because it is hard. The major fact, that the brutal honest fact about competitive programming is it is hard. It requires your logical ability. It is hard, but we need to someday or the other we need to start with it. Apurva, am I audible?
Mehak, there's a bit of background noise on your side, I guess.
Yeah, just a minute, just a minute. Yeah, sorry for the interruption, guys. Yeah. So coming to how to start with competitive programming. Well, the first thing you need to do is pick a language. You are surely going to learn over here. That is the Python. Pick a language, whatever it is, whatever language interests you. That is either CPP, Java, Python, whatever interests you. You need to pick a language. Get Okay, you need to have a good command over it. Okay. Well, if I say about pick a language, many of you might be knowing different languages over here. Like you might have worked with different languages. So, but if you are a complete beginner, like you don't even know a single language, you know, it will take you almost 1 month, to get familiar with the syntax and to deep dive with that language. So for almost a month for complete beginner. Secondly, if you have previously worked on certain languages, like it is my own experience. Like I had previously worked on CPP and then I switched to Java. So it took me around 15 to 20 minutes to switch. Sorry, 20 days to switch. Okay. So this is like, guys, do you think am I going fast? Like if you have any confusion, you can post it on the chat session. If you think I'm going fast or if you have any confusions. Okay. Second thing is learn DSA. Okay, so here many of you might be familiar with arrays, linked list, stack, and queues. Okay, but these are basic data structures. When you get your hands dirty in uh, competitive programming, you need to learn about advanced data structures as well, which will be trees, graph, tries, and certain algorithms. Okay, so you constantly need to learn DSA, and you need to have a good command over it. Like DSA is a key for competitive programming. Third is practice DSA. Okay, so now up till now you have learned a language, you have understood all the DSA concepts. One more thing coming on to the DSA part, many of you might be thinking, when you go to a certain site, there all the DSAs which are there, data structures and different algorithms which are there, it is mentioned over there, right? But most people are confused ki how to start with, or what, or to which data structures to start with. You know, so one advice I would like to give you is, you know, don't go in a rush. Always dedicate a certain amount of time to a specific data structure and algorithm. Like for me, if I take a data structure, suppose if it is array, I would usually give 1 or 1.5 week to that data structures, solve the easy, medium, and hard level questions on it. So this is how you all can go. But 1.5 is a good time if you are an intermediate. But if you are complete beginner, don't bound yourself around time. Yet let your logical thinking expand. So that was about how you can learn data structures. Third is practice DSA. Like yes, now you have learned a DSA, as I said. Now you need to practice it. So different coding platforms are there, like GFG, Lead Code, where you can sort the questions depending upon the difficulties, and you can further solve them. So this is how you can practice this. Fourth point again comes DSA. Well, you might be thinking that this is a typo, but actually this is not a typo. Many a times, what we do, we practice DSA. Okay. But when a new question comes, suppose it requires certain concept or anything, we are like कि ये तो किसी भी इससे हो जाएगा, or we could we could use this technique on it, but the optimized, in competitive programming you always need to be optimized. Your solution, not you, but your solution always needs to be optimized. Okay, so you need to consistently learn DSA. Like if you are practicing, and if sometimes we may get a new question. So at that time, that is how you basically learn DSA. You practice, you learn, you practice, you learn. Okay. And fifth is start competing. Well, this step I have kept it at last, but it usually depends. If you feel you are comfortable, like कि हाँ अभी इतना DSA कर लिया है, and now let me try my skills on different contests. Like there are different contests. So Lead Code has their bi-weekly and weekly contests on Friday and Saturday. So you can take part in them. Then even GFG has come up with their challenge, like a daily challenge. So you can take part in it. So there are various platforms. Like I have mentioned over there is Hashcode. Hashcode is a Google's competitive programming coding contest. Then is ICPC, TCS Code Vita, and many more things. Okay, one more advantage of competitive programming is, if you these contests which I have written over here, that is Hashcode, TCS Code Vita, these are taken by companies. That Hashcode is by Google, TCS Code Vita is by TCS. So if you get a certain rank in any of these competition, then you are eligible for their interviews as well. Then you don't need to be like ki, you are from tier 3 or tier 1. If you nail these competitions via competitive programming, you can go ahead. So this is how competitive programming plays a key, like it is a essential key for programmer. Okay, so this was about competitive programming and why you need competitive programming. And in this workshop, as you know, you will be learning about Python. Okay, you will be getting your hands on workshop in Python, like in this. So so you can learn about Python. You can work on it, and then you can next week we will be having a competition that is also a competitive programming competition, which is Code Mode, which is organized by ACES. You can then take part in it and test your coding skills, like how much you have done in this entire week. So yeah, this was all about competitive programming. This was it from my side. Apurva,
Mehek,
over
there
to
is one
you.
question for you.
Yeah.
The question is that what questions are exactly asked in competitive coding, and can you give an example of such a question?
Okay. Okay. Well, as I mentioned, competitive programming is all about logical ability. So questions mostly related to mathematical side, like I cannot say exactly what type. Like there are different type of questions, but mostly, as I have seen, competitive programming has more of mathematical plus data structure types of questions. You know, okay, if you want a idea about what type of questions it is, Apurva, sorry, Shivendra, could you please move to the next previous slide? See, yeah, I didn't come to this. Like, see, this first one is lead code, which I told you to practice, which I mentioned about practicing and giving weekly and bi-weekly competitions. The other three are Code Chef, Code Forces, and SPOG. You might have heard about them. So, if you want an idea about what exact questions, like what type of questions are there in competitive programming, here you can get their previous questions. Which language should be, sorry, sorry, yeah, so you can get an idea about all types of questions which are there in their previous contests. Okay, so I hope I have answered this question. Okay, moving on to the next question: which language should we choose for DSA? Harshad, it basically depends on you, like in which in which programming language you're familiar with. Like people usually people use CPP and Java, but as you can see, Python is trending. So you can mostly see even Python in the competitive programming game. So either you can go with Java, CPP, or Python. Yeah, I hope I have answered it, Harshad. So any more questions?
Yes, Mehak, we have one more. The question is, after securing a certain rank in these competitions, an interview is conducted. Is this interview only for fourth year students?
Okay. Well, guys, this is not for fourth year students only. Like for competitive programming, as I have seen, like the competitive programming, there is an age barrier. Yeah, like people mostly above 18 can participate, but this trend is also decreasing. Like all the age groups can participate, so it is not like only the fourth year, third year people can get a chance of interviewing. I have seen many people who are from second year as well, second year and first year, getting interviewed at such good companies. What is the total time duration of course? Kunal, you are asking regarding this Python workshop course. If Kunal, it is regarding the Python workshop course, then the today's timing is from 4:30 to 6, like 1.5 hours. Okay. So I hope. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Harshad. It can stick to one language for rest of your this is not some condition. Every semester you need to change a language. So if you pick one language today, you can stick to it for the rest of your seventh semester. And one more thing, like you have mentioned seventh semester, guys. As I mentioned, competitive programming is not academics. Don't treat it as an academics की college हो गया मेरा fourth year हो गया तो बस हो गया. Don't treat it like that. Competitive programming, I have seen a lot of people who are at the senior, who have a greater seniority level in good firms. Even those people are still doing competitive programming. Okay, and yes, you can stick to one language, and you need to stick to one language. Yeah, I hope I have answered the question. Over to you, Apurva.
Mehak, there's one more question actually.
Yeah.
So the question is, can we choose HTML for competitive coding?
Well, no, you cannot. Like, honestly speaking, I don't know much about it. Like, I have never seen people doing competitive programming in HTML. Like, I have seen people doing competitive programming in JavaScript, but you cannot, like, honestly speaking, guys, HTML is not even a language, so you cannot use HTML. Yeah, Purva, any more questions?
No, that was all. So thank you, Mehak, for this information, and I hope a lot of people here have got an overview of what competitive coding is now and can practice it if they want. So, moving on to our next speaker for today. Our next speaker is Shivendra Deshpande. Shivendra is currently pursuing BE in computers from PVG COET, and he is in his second year. He's an ML and Python enthusiast and is also a member of the technical team at ACES PVG COET. So, over to you, Shivendra.
Yeah, thank you, Apurva. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so let's begin with our session today. Python. Finally, we are here. So these are the topics I'm going to cover today. So let's start with the topics. And before starting, I would like to ask you some things, like if you are comfortable with any shifting in languages. Just
Shivendra, could I interrupt you for a minute, please?
yeah.
Could you join the second Meet link with your voice as well, please? If that's
Okay. Can you share the? Okay, I'll join. just a second.
Thank you. Should I send you the link in the chat here?
That would be better.
Okay, just a minute.
Guys, one more thing I would like to add, like please attend this session very seriously and try coding parallelly with Shivendra. Okay, so you never know, like you might learn a language in next 2 or 3 days, so try attending it seriously.
मग तर 6 बुशिंग घेऊन टाका तुम्ही याला मग किती मग 30 बुशिंग होईल मग आता एकूण किती एक डझन 2 नंबर भांड्याचे बारीक बुशिंगचा बेस दे पूर्ण शर्ट दे 2 नंबर भांड्याचा बारीक
Okay,
बुशिंगचा
am I audible in both the meetings and without any echoing?
माझ्याकडे पाना नाही
Yes, you're audible in the first meet clearly. Can anyone? You can ask the second
लोखंडी
meet.
दाखव नट तुटायला
Okay, so let's start.
माझ्याकडे पाना नाही
Okay, I'll start then.
याला वायसर बी
So these are the topics. Before we starting, I would like to highlight some points. So I want this session to be interactive, so you can ask any question anytime. You can interrupt me anytime,
अजून एक
and
बेस दे
if you have any doubts, ask them right away.
लोखंडी
Okay,
नाही
so
का रे याच्यात
what is Python? Python is high-level programming language, and it is now becoming popular nowadays. So it was created in 1991 by Guido van Rossum, and here are the some uses of Python, such as web development, that is server-side web development, backend development, machine learning, and deep learning, software development, data science, etc., etc. There are a lot of things you can do with
याला
Python.
वायसर येतो
So this is all about Python.
बारीक वायसर येतो बघ बोल
So why Python? Why we choose Python? So Python works on different platforms, simple, and it has very simple syntax, and it requires very few lines than other programming languages.
त्यासाठी मी हे
So I want here to give you one Slido question. Can we go with that?
एक नंबर वाढायचे लोखंडी बुशिंग साधी
First question
साधी
of
एक डझन
Slido.
18 करून दे 18 करतो तू फार लागतं.
Can you please give the code for the Slido question?
Yeah, I'll just check it once. For that is 731328.
एक नंबर वाढ किती 18 केले 18 वा वाईट आहे रंगीन
Just send the link of Slido also, so that everyone can
हां
attempt.
हां काय काय सुटलेले निघून राहिले
एकदम चांगले भाऊ पाहून घे.
बरोबर ते फुटलेले
And
त्याच्यामध्ये सफेद बी छोटा
after
असेल
done with the question, just post done in the chat box.
आणि तो
सहा ते घे आणि त्याच्यात ते सफेद गोल येतो बघ एक गोल तो 6 देऊन टाकतो
आहे.
हा 4 वाला आहे ना
90 का?
4 वाला आहे ना
हा 4 वाले एकच भावचे दोन.
हा. ते 6 घे ना हे 6 घे ते 6 घे रंगीन
Guys, we'll wait for 2 minutes for every one of you to answer the questions. So please do answer.
चेक करून घे ना. एक खोलून चेक करू का काही विषय?
Okay, I think many of you are done with it. Can we go ahead?
18 रुपयाची 30 रुपयाची 35 रुपये हलकी नाही.
If yes,
बरं 18 वाली
please put in the chat box.
तू त्याच्यामध्ये ते साधी
Shivendra, you could just read the Slido question and give us the answer so we can discuss it over here.
8 रुपयाची
हा माहिती ती 8 रुपये माहिती.
ती माझ्यासाठी घेऊन ये ना काही 2-4 डझन
What, Shreya? You are not clearly audible.
90
You could just read the question and
Yeah.
tell us the correct answer, please.
Okay.
मारलीस ते कुकरच्या मुठा ते रॉड दे
Should I share the screen or you are going to share?
No, you can
Okay.
share.
Apurva, actually, Shreya
एक
is
डझन रॉड हं?
talking in another meeting. I was talking to her.
हे नट उचलून घे, हे नट नको.
But Shreya, in first meeting, how can we
एक
share?
डझन. हे उचल. ते मागच्या तुझ्याकडून स्क्रू घेऊन गेलो मी मुठाचे ते लहान
हॅलो?
मुलं.
हा तो भट्टीचा कॉक आहे बा, तो त्याला लाल फिरवायचा आहे, तो तेवढ्याला आहे किती?
Okay, or should I share? I can share also, no?
90.
Okay, I'll go. Just a second.
आधी मुठचे मी स्क्रू घेऊन गेलो तुझ्याकडे ते आत साईडचे मोठे नाही
आता माझ्याकडे मोठे पण आले.
आले का पाच
मग
डझन.
आपण सांगितलं थोडं छोटं पाहिजे.
हा. एक दाखव मला आणि 5 डझन का मोठे हा ते
So
छोटे.
here are the results. So many of you are well acquainted with Python. So that's good.
लगेच समजून जा.
And many of you have no any idea about anything. So we'll see Python here. So I hope you can get to know many things about Python. Okay, so we can stop the poll now and let's move further. So here is the basic Python syntax. And in this session, we are going to see we are going to run code on Google Colab. Basically, you can run Python code in your local machine also using a Python interpreter, but you have to install it before. So we can go with Google Colab. So I'll show you how to go with Google Colab. So you have to go and Google it for Google Colab,
हा मोठी फुल साईज दिसतं ना लगेच समजून जा.
and then this site might come, Google
5 डझन.
colab.research.google.com. You have to open it. And then here you can see previous notebook also. So here you have to click on new notebook for the session, and we are going to provide this notebook to you also, but I'll suggest you to code along with me. So yeah, so here we'll code our first program. So so there is a basic and very simple syntax for it. So the syntax is like this: print bracket
तसं मी मोजायचं रे याला सगळं. डायरेक्ट आपले 50 70 80 5 डझनचे 12 12 25 60 असं 60 आले का ते
and here you can run by clicking this run cell option also.
12 25
But
60
I have
थोडाकडे
and add the code block like this, but I am going to use shortcut that is shift plus enter.
60 म्हणजे एक डझन झालं ना,
In
12
this
25 60.
you can see output here. Just a second, it is connecting now.
10 15 20 असं लगेच निघून गेलं.
Okay, so hello world is printed here. So you can see how the syntax of Python is. So let's move ahead. So what is comments? What comes in your mind when we talk about comments? Can anyone tell me in chat box? Okay. Okay. And anyone else? Okay. Okay. These are really great answers. So I'll explain. Commands can be used to explain Python code. And so if I am working on some project in Python and eventually I have to
5 डझन 5 डझन
give up on that project, and any one of you want to work on this and
ते
you
याची
want
नाही
to,
आलेले फुल डिवॉल.
so that you have to learn all the things I have written before. So if I am giving comment in between, then you can be so that can be easy for you to check the code and come with new solutions. So, and this comment is only readable and only we can see these comments. No compiler can see these comments. So we'll see comments. So if we run the cell, no output is there. That means this does nothing just it is for programmers use. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask.
राडची व्हायचं पुढे जाईल झाड बिन बारीक बी दाखवतो राडची व्हायचं पुढे झाड बिन बारीक द्या
I think no doubts. So let's move ahead. So variables. So now again one question: what comes in your mind by
₹6
word
5 रुपये
variable?
का किती
6 रुपये 5 रुपये क्वांटिटी डबल याच्यापेक्षा
हा अजून एक घे.
Maths.
झाड वाला.
Okay.
अरे तो राहू दे ना तो बी राहू दे तो बी
Anyone?
राहू दे
Okay, which is not
कुठलेलं
constant.
आहे रे? कुठलेलं आहे रे?
Okay, great answers.
कुठलेलं आहे?
So
दुसरं आण बारीक घे आणि
variable
एक झाड आण.
is something that refers to the data. So if I want to store something, so that should be stored in variable. So here are the few examples of variables. So x equals 5 and y equals to John, and why we have given this double inverted you will see later on this session.
ते आणि
So
त्याकडे 7 वाली.
these are the variables, and there are some conventions for variable naming. First one is name must be start with letter or underscore character. That means name cannot be start with any other character and number. And variable name can contain only alphanumeric character, that is A to Z and 0 to 9 and
सहा
underscores.
वाली ते.
नाही 7
And
आणि 8
variable names are case sensitive. So we'll see this in code also. So if I want to store in x, so I have to go like this: x equals to 5 or 10 or some anything. And if I run this cell, then x will be stored. 5 will be stored in x, and if we print
पाच
x,
जोड घेते
1 मिनिट
then you can see the value of x here. Similarly, you can assign multiple variables in single times like this 5 and 10, and if we print x, it will give 5, and if we print y, it will give 10.
चांगली क्वालिटीची
Okay, and about naming convention, name must be started with alphabet. So this can be ABC equals to 1. Okay. Or underscore ABC, something like that, equals to 2.
जेव्हा हीच क्वालिटी
Or ABC underscore 1 equals to something. But you can do variable naming like this: 1 ABC. It will give
केकची गेली 23 रुपयाची ते आता
equals to 2. If we run this, then it will give error at this
सर
line.
मॅटरला आता काय करणार
See, so we have to start variable name with
मस्त होते
alphabet or underscore.
मोठे पाहिजे
Okay. And you can use numbers,
आणि
with,
एकदम बेस्ट क्वालिटी
but they are
अजून काढणार
not used like you can use numbers like this, but they can't be at the first position of variable name. If we run this, now this will run very well. Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay, I guess done with this. Okay, so data types. So we can store any kind of thing in a variable, but every variable, every thing have a particular data type, such as string, number, float, and many of you know many programming languages, so you can know basic things about this, but we'll see. So variables can store data type of different types, data of different type, and different type can do different things. Python, basically Python have this kind of data types: text type, that is string; numeric type, that is integer, float, and complex; sequence type is list, tuple, and range. This thing you will list, tuple, range, and dictionary will be taught to you in next session. And boolean type. So let's see and code this. If you want time to code along, you can tell me in the chat. Okay, so we'll see type and
रंगीन बेस घ्या ना
first
चार बेस घे
numeric type. So
हा कलर कलर एक कलर
So there are basically three types. One is integer. Integer can be positive number or negative number. So but without decimal points. And second is float. That is floating point number. That can be something like 10 point, 2, 3, 4.
बावीस
And
तेवीस
third is
रुपये फार
complex.
मजबूत
So
आहे.
complex numbers can be represented like this: 1
हे रे
plus
पहिले 2 महिने पूर्वी आता बाबा.
j. Here we use j instead of I.
भाव वाढून
We were using I in mathematics, but here we use
वीस
j.
22 23 होती.
So if we run this, so there is no error. So if we want
ही पहिले मी
to
22
check the
घेऊन आलो आणि
type
check
of
करून 2 महिने
A, then let's see what we get.
टोटल मार्क.
Int. So here type of A is integer. Similarly for type of B, so it is float, and
हे नॉट उचल तुला
type of C.
चेअरवर आहे ती काय चेअरवर आहे ती काय
त्याचं
मला लागत नाही का
So
नाही ना
let's
बिना
move
ते
it.
घेते नाही का तुझ्याकडून
That
त्याचं
is string.
हे बघ
So
लोखंडी घेतलं
string,
ना यार.
हा बरोबर
just
तू
a
व्हायचं
second.
टाकीतलं का यार?
टाकलं ना व्हायचं
Once. So we are done with these numbers.
ती जाडी बुशिंग
Next is string. So string in Python is surrounded by either single inverted commas or double inverted commas. Here, both the things means the same here. So if we check, if we assign b equals to hello and e equals to hello.
टोटल मार्क आहे.
Here both the things means the same. So if we check the type of b,
थोडं थोडं सर पाहू असं.
it is also string, and type of e, that is also the string. Okay, so let's move ahead. So booleans. So
हे काय
if
डझन लावले?
there is any expression, you can get answer of it like true or false, and it is known as boolean. So let's check what is boolean. So if a equals to true, p should be capital.
हे साइड एंटर किती देऊन टाक बरं. ऑटो भरून दे.
If we check
साइड एंटर.
type of a, then it is boolean.
हे
And
टाकू ना मग.
boolean expressions can we have to use boolean
बोलायची
expression
गरज
in
नाही आहे.
if else conditional statement that will be taught to you by Sham. So next is operators. Operators plays very important role in any programming languages. So there are mainly these types of operator: arithmetic operator, assignment operator, comparison operator, logical
आता
operator,
त्याचा फोन येईल बरं
identical
का?
operator,
हो,
membership
हो,
operator, bitwise
काय
operator,
2-3 atom आहे.
and we'll see one by one. So
काय बोलू?
do you know anything about any of these operators? If you know anything, you can tell me
नाही पण ते
by
थांबणार ना.
unmuting yourself or
जजमेंट नाही
by
आहे.
putting in chat.
एकदम रे हळू. म्हणजे 2 गिऱ्हाईक उभं राहिले ना.
हा हा
दीड दोन को सुट्टी दो.
काय बात करू
हा. हा. 1-1.5 तास तर आरामशीर
मला ही थोडी सवय माहित होतं आपल्या एवढं
माहिती देतील त्याला संपूर्ण चौकाची
Okay.
मूळची सगळी माहिती
We
देतील.
can solve equation using arithmetic operations.
समोरच्याला बी
Yeah.
हा. ते एखाद्याने हो अनिल शेठ व
Yeah.
काय?
Yeah.
आणि मग
Perfect.
ते
Perfect.
धंदा सोडून आओ जरा हो ऐका जाने का
Yeah.
अरे तुम्ही गिरे किती 4 उभे आहे ना तुम्ही त्याला
हा,
काम
okay,
केला.
right.
असं जाय,
हा ना.
असं सोडती.
आधीच
ती स्वभावात आहे ना, ती सवय घाल.
So let's see what are arithmetic operation. Arithmetic operations are nothing but the operators we use in mathematics, like plus, minus, multiplication, division, and there are 3 more in Python, that is floor division, exponent, and
त्याला 4 दुकानी फिरावं
floor
लागतं.
division, exponent.
विचार करायचा ना.
तुम्ही ते उलट बाहेर गावून आले तुम्हाला जास्ती काय
मग
So with that, so we have to assign some value. So I'll show arithmetic operation, that is firstly a equals to 1 and b equals to 2. So if we have to assign this, then the operator plus here is arithmetic operator. So if we return C, here is arithmetic operation plus, so you can use minus also.
हे अजून एक अजून करून घेऊ.
Multiplication
तू असं कर रे, यांचं सर्व लिहून घे आणि मग नंतर ते
Division.
नवीन येतं खाली तुम्हाला हिशोब.
and then here if we want 1 to the power 2, so we have to give double asterisk, that will give you 1 to the power 2. And next one is modulus. Modulus gives you only the
हे ते जाऊ दे, ते लक्षात आहे माझ्या, ते कंटाळा.
I will
आता
show
तू नवीन
you
लिहू.
and then
ते
I
जाऊ
will
दे,
explain you.
नवीन लिहू. साइड एंड आली इकडे.
Okay. If we divide 1 by 2,
नको, काय सांगितलं तुला?
then what will be the
ते
answer?
विचारून जातो मी. हा, हे आठवाली
Just a
फिरते
sec,
एकदा
just
घे
a
अजून.
sec.
काय नाही, 34 वाला देऊ का 44 वाला देऊ?
34 मला ते साधा आणतो. कुठं आवडत ताकद
Floor
काय?
division. What?
एक द्यायचा.
Hello. Okay, this is floor division. If you divide 1 by 2, then this is 0.5. Then that gives only the decimal point before
अजून
the
काहीतरी सांगितलं.
decimal point, the number before the decimal point, and then comes modulus operator. It gives you the remainder
ही एकदम जास्त चालणार आहे.
remainder after division. So if we divide 1 by 2, then remainder is 1, so that will be given by modulus operator. So these are all the arithmetic operations. Then assignment operators. Assignment operators are nothing but, if we are here, we have used assignment operator, that is equal to. So a equal to, if we have to assign something to a, then that is assignment operator. So equal to is assignment operator.
बरं, राड बी एकदा
So
घेतो.
a equals to 2, but and there are many
नाही, आहे तो, जाऊ दे, जाऊ दे.
arithmetic operators such as a equals to a plus,
नाही,
sorry,
दसमी
a
वरात,
equals
लाईटात तलवार,
to
उकडीच्या गाळी, पाणी
a
भरून,
plus equal
बिना
to
बाटल्या, टॉयलेट बाटल्या.
1. So this will add 1 in a itself and return the a. So if we print a, then we should see the value will be 3. Yeah. And similarly there is minus
सहा मूठ 8 सक 48 सहा झाल्या. सहा मूठ
multiplication,
मारले
division,
17 सक 102.
multiplication, division, etc.
नंतर काळे
And then comes comparison operator. So
2 वायसर 12
a equals to 2
वायसर 5 रुपये
and
51 रुपये 18 बूस्टचे 18 बूस्ट 51.
okay,
नंतर एक बूस्टचे 18 रुपये 29 रुपये.
okay, okay.
दुसऱ्या नंतर लिहितो.
Is it visible clearly now?
58 रुपये प्लेट एवढं सगळं आहे.
Okay, so a equals to 2 and b equals to 3. Here we have used assignment operator. So let's see
12 रुपयाचे हे slow मध्ये.
comparison. So if we have to every comparison operator returns us a boolean value. So if we compare this a equals to b, now it will return us false because a is not equal to b. And if we print here a is not equal to b, then it will return true to us. Similarly, is then there are greater than, so this will also print false. Less than, these are
नाही आहे.
then logical operators that are and, or, and not. So you will see logical operators in next session, that and then identity operator in also next session. So I think I'm done with my part. Just go on Slido and there are some more questions for you all. So I think we should take the questions now. Can we go with the second question? Okay guys, go and answer.
45 25 पंचवीस, चाळीस, 45, 102, 20, 36, 12, 5,
Just
51,
everyone answer, then I will go to the
24,
screen.
22,
And after
57,
doing it,
58,
post done in the
40,
chat box.
34, 29. ते 22
And
आयटमचे
if you
47
have any
पुन्हा आपण वापस
questions,
केली
any doubts,
म्हणजे
you can
6
ask
रुपये
them.
3 रुपयाचे प्लास्टिक 6 रुपयाचे वजा 762 झाले 762 800 वजा किती आणि तुम्ही वापस करून
Okay. Oh wow, everyone has given the right answer. Okay. Next question. Can we go to the next question? Okay, next question, please, Apurva. We can stop this question. Okay, solve it.
हे गावाला विंडो स्टीलचा आहे.
किंवा 9ला हे
हा नाही तो 10 आहे.
11ला
Okay, slide of
नाही
code.
ना
आणि हे हा 9ला आहे नाही 10ला.
आम्हाला 10.5 रुपयाला येतो आम्ही 11.5 11
7.
10 रुपयाला देतात आणि शेतात
71
मोबाईल लावून चालणार. माझं नाव बघ.
Okay, done with this question also.
आपले गिऱ्हाईक, खायचे गिऱ्हाईक.
Which one is variable name? Yeah, the fourth one is correct. We can't start with one or any other character.
हॅलो हा पांढरा भेटू 10 रुपये देतात तुम्ही
Any number or any other character.
झाला नाही का बाहेर जातो ना बरं 11ला
Okay, I think everyone is
तो आता लिहून
done with this question.
ही लोखंडी
Next question, please. Fourth question. A tricky one.
तुला पैसे दिले का?
तुम्हाला देऊन दिला काय
हे म्हणतो आहे. तू एकदम हे पैसे खर्च कर हे माझ्याकडे भरपूर आहे. लब्बरचे पैसे खर्च.
Where to answer these questions? These questions are on slide of the
मोकळे
link.
शेड देतात 2-2 3 डझन लब्बर
जोडून
त्याच्याकडे कुठेच भरलेले.
तसा नाही लागते ते नट तर करून दिले मी नट तर सांगून दिला लावते सगळं ते रेट मिक्स माहिती
माझ्याकडे फार उरलेले आहेत.
त्या लॉट मध्ये तुम्ही
नाही ना ते शेड सुट्टे विकतात
So we'll see the answer.
दोन
Float.
रुपयाला काढ.
अरे यार.
ते क्वालिटीवर आहे.
These are
क्वालिटीवर.
in double inverted commas, so this should be string now
जाडा
or float.
2.5 रुपयाला असं काहीतरी रेट आहे त्यांचे. हे यांच्या लब्बरचं सांगतो मी हा. लब्बर माझ्याकडे भरपूर आहे.
असं नाही करता ते लॉट मध्ये येतात ते
Everyone got wrong here.
आपलं काय ते थोडेसे पैसे कमवायचे
नमस्कार सर.
हा बोल
Okay. And please. Yeah, Abhishek. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
दोन बेस घेऊन टाका.
Yeah, anything in double inverted commas is string. Double inverted commas or single inverted also. Yeah, it will be a string. Okay, and don't call me sir. I am a second year computer engineering student, so don't call me sir. You can call me Shivendra. So next question.
ठेव याच्यात.
Yeah, solve. fast. Just one more second. So yeah, many of you have got the right answer here. Which one is not right? Yeah, I'm done with my part. So Apurva, and I hand over to you. And thank you everyone. I hope you got everything. Just ask ask any question if you have.
If you all have any questions, you all can post it in the chat and we'll make sure that all your questions are answered. But for now, we'll move on forward with the session. But firstly, thank you, Shivendra, for the amazing session, and it was very informative. And you covered all the basics of Python, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Moving on to our next speaker. Our next speaker for today is Sham Lokhande. Sham is also in his second year and he's studying BE Computers at PVG COET. He is also the member of the web development team at ACES, and he'll be taking the next part of today's session. So over to you, Sham.
Thank you. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
So,
Sham, if you could also join both the meets, it would be helpful.
oh, okay. Can you please paste the link in?
Yeah, I will share the link here again.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
अँड्रॉइडवर ते पायथॉनवर पायथॉन येतं मला तरी रेकॉर्ड करून ती कॉम्प्युटर कोर्स सांगितली वरती आणि हा लिंक्डइन कंपनीत काम करून
Thank you.
हो का क्लास नाही चालू आहे का सेशन ऐकतोय का तू तुमच्याच कॉम्प्युटर याच्यावर साईटवर चालू आहे
गुगल मीट
संपली तुमच्या क्लास मधले सगळे पोरं अटेंड आहे का झाली काही
चालू आहे ना डाऊट विचारत
कधी
So
झालं
hello everyone. Myself Sham Lokhande. So we are going to see about the topics conditional statements. Actually, decision-making statements are the most important aspect of almost all programming languages.
रेकॉर्ड करतोय
As the name implies, decision-making allows us to run a particular block of code for a particular decision.
काहीतरी काम
Here, the decisions are made on the validity of particular condition. Condition checking is the backbone of decision making.
बोलू तर करू शकत
So, Python allows us conditional statements. There are three conditional statements
युट्यूबवर टाकणार आहे
in
काय
Python.
माहिती टाकाल का नाही त्यामुळे करून देतो.
As you can see, if else, if else. Along with the conditional statements, in every programming language, you need to iterate a certain part of program several times. Then you can use the loops. Python provides, there are two loops which Python provides, for loop and while loop.
काल संपलं होतं ना वाटतं येतो
So let's see more about these conditional statements. The first conditional statement is the if statement. The if statement is used to test a particular condition, and if condition is true, the particular block of code is executed. Like in this flowchart, where first the condition is checked. If the condition is true, the block of code is executed. If the condition is false, nothing is executed and the program is executed further. So the second conditional statement is if-else statement. If-else statement is used or provides an else block combined with the if statement, which is executed in the false case of the condition. If this condition is provided as true, then the if block is executed. Otherwise, else block of the code is executed. The syntax for if-else statement is if condition colon and the if block of statement, and the else condition, and there is no condition for the else and the else block. So let's see the code on Colab. So we will try a program to print the given function is true or false. So here we need to find the given number is odd or even. So first we will take the input from the user for this program, and we need to store that input in a variable. So name the variable as n and take the integer input from the user. Python provides an built-in function for taking the input. Enter the number. Okay. So what is the condition? What is the condition that made the number as even? If that number is divisible by 2, then that is the even. And if it is not divisible by 2, the number is said to be odd. So let's write the condition for even odd. If n mod 2 is equal to 0, what it means if the number is divided by 2 and the remainder is 0, the answer for n mod 2 is the remainder. If the remainder is equal to 0, then the number is even. So we will print the given number is even. What if it is not divisible by 2? If it is not divisible by 2, we will print the number is odd. The given number is odd. So let's execute this program. So it is taking the input from us. Let us first take 5 as input. So the 5 is an odd number, as the modulus 5 mod 2 is equal to 1. So it is not is equal to 0, means it is an odd number. That's how this program is executed. Let us go to the presentation. After the if-else statement, there is one another.
Sorry to interrupt you, Sham.
Yeah.
There is one question.
Yep.
What is int used for in input type?
Just a minute. Yeah. Are you talking about this int? Yeah.
Yeah.
When user provides an input, then that input should be of type integer, because here we are going to execute this program as an integer. So that input will be stored in n variable as an integer, so that we can perform these actions of arithmetic operations on that variable. I hope I could answer your question.
Yeah, Sham, just increase the font.
Oh, okay.
And I have to answer that question. Here we have used int to typecast the input.
Yeah.
If we take input, it is in form of string. So if we have typecasted it to integer.
Yeah, okay. Chandra, can you please help to increase the font?
Yeah, just press Control plus.
It is not working, actually.
Why?
Don't know.
Just check it once.
Yeah, it is not working. I'm doing this.
Okay. Come out of the cell and do it.
What?
Come out of the cell that you are running. And
Okay.
then
No, it's not working.
Do one thing, click on the three dots, and after that, there will be a option like zoom. So that minus symbol is there. You can click
Where 3 dots?
not here, at the right side.
Right hand side.
At the topmost corner.
Okay.
Zoom.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, is it visible? Hello, Shivan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So let's move forward to the if elif else statement in Python. So yeah, the elif statement enables us to check multiple conditions and execute specific block of statements depending upon the true condition among them. We can have any number of elif statements in a program, and it is not mandatory to to include the elif statements. The elif statements works as if else if statement in C. Most of you have learned C, I hope. So in C, as we write the if else if conditions for multiple conditions, like that we use if elif and if statement in Python. As you can see here, first the first condition is checked. If it is true, the statement 1 is executed. If it becomes false, the second condition is checked. If the second condition is true, second statement is executed. Otherwise, third condition is checked, and so on. The syntax for if elif else statement is like if and the condition and the if block of statement, elif, then condition second, and the elif block of statement, and at last else statement. So let's run a program depend on elif statement. So yeah. So here we are going to execute a program which is write a program to find the given number is positive, negative, or 0. So let's,
Excuse me.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Please, can you run the code which is of if else? Because I'm trying to do it, but it's showing some error. So please can you?
What is the error?
The error is showing something that add Python input 36 dash module in brackets. If there's in that some error is showing, so please can you run it?
Yeah, I have run the. Have you written the code as it is of mine? Because mine code is working fine.
Oh, okay. Sorry, one statement is okay.
Yeah. So like this, many of you can face the errors. Just try to grasp the knowledge here. Just grasp the concept. Otherwise, the small mistakes can be done and can be corrected by yourself also. Yeah. The if elif else program. So yeah, program to find the given number is positive, negative, or 0. So for that, first of all, we need to take the input from the user. As we have done the earlier, we will take the input as integer prototype from the user. Okay. So here we need to write the conditions. If the number is greater than 0, then the number is considered as positive. If the number is less than 0, then the number is negative. And if it is equal to 0, then it is 0. So we will first write the condition for positive. If m greater than 0, then we will print given number is positive. Okay. So here we will need to write the second condition, that is elif block. Elif block is same as if block, just like we are taking many if conditions. Like we are taking many if conditions to execute the program. So in elif block, we will write the condition for the negative number. So we will write elif m less than 0, we will print the number is negative. Should we write the next elif block or can we write the else block as it is?
else block as it is.
Yeah, because we don't have any condition remaining, so that we can write the else block as it is.
Sham,
But if you have,
there's a question
yeah,
in the chat. If you could
yeah,
please address it.
just a minute.
No, it is in the chat for Meet One. I'll read the question to you. Why is double equal to
Go.
signs twice in the if program?
Yeah, it actually for it is operator. It is a condition checking operator. Like when you use a single equal to operator, you are assigning the right part to the variable on the left part. But where you are going to check the condition, double equal to sign is used. Like conditional operator. It is called as conditional operator. You can also do this program as not equal to. This exclamatory mark and equal to sign is known as not equal to. Means n by 2 is not equal to 0. Means it is an odd number. So we can write it as odd, and in else block we can write it as even. Okay. Yeah. Do you got it? Hello?
Yes, you can continue, Sham, I
Yeah.
guess.
So else in the else part we can write the number is 0. As we don't have any further condition, so that's why we have written here else. But if we have in two conditions remaining, we will include another elif condition, and then else part can be written. So we will execute this program. So yeah, the given number is positive. We will rerun the program and taking the input as 0. The number is 0. So I hope you got it. Is there any question?
Excuse me.
Yeah, go
Sorry
please.
to interrupt, but can we use if instead of elif also? Means right?
Yeah, you can use if also. But when you use if, okay, and forget about this else statement. If you write both the conditions, both the statements will be checked every time, right? When this condition is also true, this condition is also checked. Means I will switch to somewhat Hindi. मतलब हमको जब ये कंडीशन ट्रू होती है, तो हमको जब हम एलिफ यू रहे, तब यहाँ पे ये कंडीशन नहीं चेक होती अगर ये ट्रू निकली तो। पर अगर ये फॉल्स निकली तो ही ये एलिफ वाली कंडीशन चेक होती। लाइक इफ वी यूज हियर टू इफ ब्लॉक्स, each time even if this condition is true, this condition is also checked. So that's why we should uh, avoid using two if statements instead of elif. Yeah, got it.
Okay, but still we'll get the same output, right?
Yeah, still we will get the same output, but when you will go to the competitive coding, there is a factor of time complexity. We need to minimize the time. We can minimize the time using less conditional statements, right? So
Okay.
the time can be minimized.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. So let's. Uh, does anyone other have any question, or you got it? Yeah. So I will move forward as there is no question. So we have finished here the conditional statements in Python. So now we will go to the loops in Pythons. Okay. So Python loops. The for loops in Python are used to uh, iterate a certain part of program several times in a single program. Okay. It is frequently used to traverse the data structures like list tuples in Python that you will see tomorrow. But here mainly the syntax for loop. The first is the for loop. The for loop in Python is used to iterate a part of program several times. Means in for loop, we know the how many times we are going to iterate the part of that program. Okay. So go to the flowchart of for loop. So item from the sequence that uh, group of sequences. If there is next item, then loop body will be executed. Loop body is the block of statements which will be executed for each item in the sequence, and if there is no item remain in the sequence, the loop will be quiet and the further program will be executed. Syntax for loop is for and the variable. While we are using the for loop, we need a variable for iterating purpose. That variable, the value of that variable is increased, decreased according to our condition and need. And we are using here the range function that gives a range. Like we need to iterate through 1 to 10. Then from will be 1 and 2 will be 10. But while using the range function, we need to consider the first part, that the two part will be executed. Means the upper bound, that is 10, will be excluded from the range. Means you will get the iterating variable will be iterated from 1 to 9, but it will not be equal to 10 in this loop. And in range function, we can also have a third part, that is the step number. Means how many times you want to increase or decrease the variable. Okay. And the statements that you want to execute for each number. Let's know more about this using Colab. We will execute a program to understand it better. So we will write a program to print all the odd numbers from 1 to 10. As we have seen here, odd number if n mod 2 is not equal to 0, means it is an odd number. We will use the same condition here, but using the for loop. First of all, we will write the for loop for I in range. If I want to iterate all the from 1 to 10, so what should I write, 10 or 11? Yeah, any answers?
11.
Yeah, right.
11.
Because 11 will be excluded, means 10 will be included in the range. So in the range 1 comma 10, we will check the condition. If I mod 2 is not equal to 0, as we have to find that it is an odd number, so we will include the condition that it is not equal to 0. See, and we will print that number I. Let's execute this program. So here we get the odd numbers from 1 to 10 as 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay. If I do is not equal to as equal to, I will get all the even numbers. Yeah, got it. So anyone have any question here? So there is no question. Yeah, iterating means repeating the certain part of that program several times. Yeah. So we will execute a next program. The program is write a program to print each character in string. Like for loop, we can also use the for loop for iterating through each character in a string. So for iterating through the each character in a string, we will write for j in. Before that, we will assign this Python to the variable. This is a string. We will assign this string to a variable in Python. So for j in var, we will print j. So this is the simple program. I hope everyone got it. If we want to write this all the characters in one line, just write comma and equal to space. So all the characters will be written in one line, taking a space between each character. So like this. So is there any question?
Can I start my camera because some error is showing me? Can you just click and let me know what's the problem?
Yeah.
Can you see the problem? Hello?
Yeah, it is an error for indentation. Like in other C or C++ programming languages, we use the curly brackets for executing a block of code, right? Yeah, you can off your camera. I will explain it. Yeah. So in C or C++, instead of this colon, we will use the curly braces like this. It is only for that this part of block of statement is included in for loop, but Python gives us the indentation, means the at the end of for loop we will give the colon, and the part of block which we are going to iterate should be written by giving a space, so that Python can understand this part of statement is included in for loop. Okay, even if you are if you need to include another statement in for loop, just give a this space from the starting of the line and print here, so that it will Python can understand that this statement is included in for loop. Yeah, it will be, yeah, like this. I hope I could solve your issue, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Not sir, I'm Sham. You can call me Sham. Yeah. So we will move forward. After the for loops, there is another type of loops in Python, that is while loop. So while loop is usually used when we don't know how many times we are going to repeat the part of program. Means it repeating a statement, we only have a condition and we don't know how many times we are going to repeat that block of code. In that condition we will use the while loop. The flowchart for while loop, first we will check this condition. If the condition is true, the block of code will be executed. This block of code will be executed then we don't know how many times it will be executed, but it will be executed till when this condition becomes false. Once this condition becomes false, the loop will be ended and the control will go out of the loop. So the syntax for while loop is while condition colon and statements that we need to iterate. So let's try the same program that write the odd numbers in 1 to 10. Let's try it on the Colab. So this is the program to write all the even numbers from 1 to 10. In for loop we had written all the odd numbers in 1 to 10, but in while loop we will write a program to print all the even numbers in the range 1 comma 11. Okay, so we will write a while loop first. First of all, we need to assign a variable at 0, as we are going to start from I equal to 1. As we are going to start from 1, we need to assign that to a variable, the starting point, and we need to write a condition. Like in each condition, we will increase that one I variable by 1, so that we will have a condition that I is less than or equal to 10, and if I is less than or equal to 10, we will have an if condition to check whether the number is even. So for even number, I must be divisible by 2. So we have written a condition, and now we will print the number if it is divisible by 2, so that it is an even number. Will this work? What do you think? Does anyone know? Will this work?
No.
Or we will need
We have
to
to
add
read this later.
exactly. We will need to increase this variable by 1.
I is equal to I plus 1.
Yeah. So that each time the number will be executed, and it will be executed 10 times as the condition is I is less than or equal to 10. So let's run this program. So here we get all the even numbers from range 1 to 10. Hopes everyone got it. Do you got it, guys? Or do you have any question? If you have any question, ask. You can unmute yourself. It will be easier for me to give answer. Okay, got it. Okay. Okay, cool. So, like we have seen the for loop as well as while loops, there is an else block in these loops which can be used while write certain programs where if the statement is break, then it should not be executed, but we will execute that program after the break statement. So while iterating the same part through a condition, there are some conditions in that loop where we don't want to iterate at that condition. For that purpose, Python has allowed us some statements like break statement. Break is a keyword in Python which is used to bring the program out of the loop. Like if for letter in Python, right? Means in letter, each character will be stored while iterating through the string. If we need to break the break this loop if letter is equal to h, means we only want to print this pyt up to pyt. Then as the letter equal to h, we will break the statement, and this break uh, will give the control of the program to direct to the next of the for loop. Let's see an example at the Colab. Okay, we will see here. We will see this later. While for I in range 1 comma 4, means I will have values 1 2 3, but we will want to print only up to 2. So we will write if I equal to 2, means if I becomes 2, break the statement, right? Means when in this loop I becomes 2, the break statement will work, and this control of the we will write here loop completed using break. So the control of the program will be given to this print statement. So the third iteration will not be executed. Let's run this program. So as you can see, loop completed print using break, right guys? Okay. Sorry, it's my mistake here. Here we should assign first I equal to 1, because in Colab, as you have I have assigned I equal to 1 here, so it will be 1 only. So in Colab you need to consider that the at every block of code there should be a new variable name. Let's give it a I1. So this will print the numbers up to 1, 2, and 1 in range 1 comma 4. It should work. If I1 is equal to 2, yeah. Let's write as 4. So this is an indentation error. We need to write this block again.
Let's switch open.
So if I1 equal to 4, we will print, not print, we will break the statement. Okay, and if it is less than 4, we will print I1. As we have given there I for printing, that's why it was not printing. It should be print now, work fine. Yeah, as you can see, it is printing 1 2 3 and loop completed using break statement. So do you got the break statement, or do you have any question?
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you please explain the break statement again?
Yeah. Okay. When you usually use the break statement, the control it goes out of the loop, means loop will not be executed. The else block of statement will be executed, that we will see in the next point. Means it will be executed till when the letter is not equal to h. Means it will iterate for p character, y character, t character. But when the letter equal to h, the break statement will be executed, and the control of this program will be given to the uh, block of statement which is further from for loop, like that. Like in this example, as the break statement is executed, the control of the loop is given to the print instead of iterating once more, right? Even if we write here 5, it will be break at 4 only. Yeah, do you got it?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Does anyone other have any question? Yeah, in this declaration, because I is already declared here, so that's why it was printing nothing, as it was checking the i's condition. That's why the our code were not working fine, but now it's working fine as we have changed the name of the variable. While working with Colab, you need to consider this point. Yep, any other? Yeah, I think it's fine. So we will move forward further. So here we will execute one more program. Like we have seen the for loop. Python provides a for else block of statement with for loop, which is executed every time the loop ends. But it will be exception in just one condition, when the loop is break. So we will write. You will understand this from this program. Else int else block is executed as there is no break in loop. So here, as if we here we are not breaking, just comment out it. So there is no breaking in this for loop. So the else block here will be executed finally. Okay, just run the loop. See here, the else block is executed as there is no break in the loop. And as we include the break statement in the loop and given a condition, as here is the breaking of the loop, so else block will not be executed, which we are going to use in the program of prime number. As you see, we didn't see this print statement here anywhere because the loop was break. When loop is break, else statement will not be executed. Do you understand it? Or anyone have? Yeah, Rian, it was till 6, but due to some delay, we will continue to the today's point. So we will move forward. We will write a program. We will see other statements in Python. After the break statement, there is a continue statement. The continue statement is a keyword in Python which is used to bring the program control to the start of loop. Like break statement will get the control out of the loop, but the continue statement will get that control to the starting of the loop, excluding the next part of the loop, right? Like in this expression, for letter in Python, if letter equal to h, continue, means means this print statement will not be executed. I think someone's mic is on. Can you please off your mic? Yeah, thank you. So here the in the when letter equal to h means when it iter to h, the continuous statement will be executed, and in case of h it will be directly go here, and next o will be assigned to letter, and this statement will not be executed in case of h. We will execute this program here on the Colab. Yeah. As we have executed the here, we will include just a condition here, if condition. If j equal to h, continue. Okay. If it is not equal to h, here we need to assign this as a character, as j is storing a character in the string variable Python. Okay, and if it we will print j in this condition. Let's run this program. Yeah, as you can see here p by t, but h is excluded, as we have written here a continuous statement. In the case of h, the control is gone here, and the print j statement is not executed. That's how continuous statement works. Is everyone fine with continuous statement? Or does anyone have any doubt? You can unmute yourself if you have any doubt. So, as anyone don't have any doubt, we will move forward. The next statement is pass statement in Python. The pass is a keyword in Python which is used to execute nothing. Means pass is used to just pass the statement as the name suggests. Okay, means it doesn't do anything. It just work like the comments in Python, but it is executed by Python interpreter, and comments are ignored by Python interpreter. Like in this in this program, there is no any effect of pass statement. It will be executed as it was without this pass statement. So there is nothing about the pass statement very much. So we will move forward, and as a miscellaneous problem, we will do a program to find the entered number is prime or not. So prime number, as I think everyone knows the what is a prime number. Yeah, everyone knows. Or is there anyone without who don't know what is a prime number? Yeah. So I think everyone knows. So we will take a input from the user. So first we will check if this number entered is greater than 1 or less than 1. If it is greater than 1, then we can find the is it prime or not. But if it is less than 1, it will not be a prime number, as you know, everyone. So if num is greater than 1, so here we will write the code to find how to find a number is prime. So we will use for loop for this purpose. For k in range, for k in range, what should be the range? Should I write 1 here? Because as already we are writing num greater than 1, so we can start the loop with 2 and the execute loop up till num. So for k in range 2 comma num, k will be executed. Yeah guys, so if the number is divisible by the k variable, yeah, if the number is divisible by k variable, then it will not be a prime number, as it is divisible by a number other than 1 and itself, so it will not be a prime number. Print it is not a prime number, and we will break loop here, as we don't need to check whether the whether further this has any divisible number or not. Yeah, the semicolon, as this is a string, we will need to write them in a double inverted commas. Yeah, yeah guys, and if we will break the loop here, okay, and here we will write the else block for not for each statement. Here we are writing the else block for the for loop, as if it is break, this will not be executed, but it is not break, then we can write that we can print this is a prime number. Yeah guys, because it is not divisible by any number between 2 to that number itself, so it will be a prime number. And we are going to write another else block, not for this false statement. Here we are going to write the else block for this if statement. Else, if it is less than 1, it will not be a prime number. Prime number. What is the error? K in range, right? K equal to, let's execute. Input 22 for K in range. Valid syntax. 2 comma num. Yeah, it's a bracket. Yeah, you were saying? Yeah, thank you. Just we will take the input from the user as 34, and it is not a prime number as it is divisible by 2, so we should get it is not a prime number. And if we given input as 11, it is a prime number, we are getting this is a prime number, so our program is working fine. Everyone got it, or have some question? Hello? Do you have any doubt?
No.
What is the error? The error was because of this brackets I have included in the for loop that I have removed now.
No, Manali had some error, so
Mm,
I just asked you.
what is the error actually?
Manali, if you could please tell us what the error is so we could help you.
Yeah, fine. You will get some small errors. Try it, you will get a fine code from it. Just think of the error and read the error first. That is the main important point. So there are some miscellaneous questions. Yeah, Shreya, should I continue with the session or should I wind up?
I think we can just take the Slido ones if you are okay with it, and then Sunday ko we'll continue.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can go with the sixth Slido question. Guys, we have a Slido now. Poll open. Just let me give you the code. Yeah, it is in your chat box. The code for the Slido. So the first question, which of the following is not a loop in Python? I will not show the answer. Guys, do it fast. Till this, if anyone has any doubt, you can ask me.
There are the 15 tickets in the box. Each will be clearing one of the numbers from the one to one is done for the and the probability of the getting ticket or not.
Yeah, man. Students, I'm going on a right track. Yeah, guys. So this is a good response from you. Yeah. Yes. We can go to the next question, 7. Yeah, it is a do while loop, guys. It's correct. Definite number of iterations, guys. Most of the people are on right track. But why are you going for do while loop? As we have seen in the last question, the do while loop is not in Python. So the correct question is for loop.
Aditya.
Thank you guys for patiently listening.
झक मारली तुझी तर
So, Apurva, can we wind up the session?
Yes, Sham. So, thank you, Sham, Shivendra, and Mehak for this very informative session today. And I hope all the participants have gained a lot of.
अबे इकडे आहे ना ते आई तिकडे उभा असेल ना तुझ्याकडे एक तर मग फोन नाही ना आई
Am I audible now?
अरे ती
And I hope there's no echo.
चावी नाही कुठे गेली तिकडे कुठे काय करू इथं म्हणजे काय काही कळत नाही मला पहिली कुठे मला काही कळलं करत तू करतो काय तू
So, thank you to all the participants for attending this session and being an active audience. And before leaving, a few instructions. We also have a session 2 for this workshop planned for you all on Sunday. That is the 6th of February.